Hickok 45 here. Welcome to the Hickok 45 Talks channel. You're actually on a different channel. Doesn't make a lot of difference, but you are. Get over here sometime and look what you've probably missed. Same with the Clips channel. Might be something useful, you never know. All right, someone asked me to talk about how I store, organize, and how I store and organize my firearms, ammo, and magazines. Yeah, I guess this person is assuming I have a lot of all that. Yeah. Well, a lot of us have a lot of all that, don't we? So, man, tell us what you do. Right? I mean, if you got any tricks, share it because it is a challenge as you move into this endeavor, right? You get several years behind you. You have several firearms maybe and lots of different chamberings and magazines, ammo and all of that kind of thing. It's it's like if your life is not complicated enough, you pick this hobby you get involved in and it has all these different pieces and they with the common denominators, and these different things have to be separated. I mean, like magazines, whatever it is, by chambering, by caliber, right? By type it here. You got rifle magazines, you got pistol magazines, and you got all the various calibers in each magazines, and then with ammo, wow, there's no end to that, right? How it's organized, and the firearms, by caliber, how do you do it? How do you sort them? Let's say you have 30 or 40 firearms. You got a couple of gun safes or something, and what do? Do you break it up? Do I put all my rifles in one, handguns in the other? Do I put all my bolt actions in one, and all my modern sporting rifles or ARs in this one, or just my AKs in this one and my ARs in that one, and my revolvers? Do I put all of them on this shelf? Maybe you just have 15, 20 guns, just. And let's see, maybe it's by shelf. Do I organize them, have all the revolvers on this shelf, semi-autos on this shelf, or do I do it by caliber or whatever it might be? Do I keep the magazines with them that I have, or do I put them somewhere else in boxes or label them? How do I label that? You got all that stuff to figure out. None of it's brain surgery, right? Except it can get disorganized, really easily. Even when you have it organized, it can get disorganized again. It's a constant battle for me because I have a lot of all of that, as you can imagine, and even beyond that, unlike most of you, I have opportunities to mix it up even more because we're always pulling to do a video. Like several times a week, I might be doing different videos and pulling 4 or 5 different guns for this one video, and getting 2 or 3 different calibers of ammo out for that video in different magazines, and then you finish up and you clean it all maybe right away or soon after, and then you get, okay, I got this magazine still has that rounds in it. What box did they come out of? And this magazine go here? Where's this magazine go? And which safe do I keep this in? Where does it go? So it's real easy if I'm a little too relaxed for a week and don't get things back where they go. I pay for it. So, but that doesn't answer your question. That just explains what a problem it can be, right? And for anybody, it's all relative. I have done it different ways. I have been reluctant. I have been I put it off so long, and I should have built a structure years ago. Just haven't done it. To have more room to organize everything. I know some other shooters have done it. I've seen Ian's. I've seen 22 Plinkster. I was just kept putting it off, and I don't know if it's too late to do that now. I really want to fool with that. Building some big structure, pretty expensive. To finally get it all organized, I don't know. But or have more room to keep it organized. But I have done different things. I have a lot of gun safes. And so in my case, I have the good fortune of not just organizing a couple of shelves. I need to organize a lot of firearms and things. And so I do it kind of by safe. And I've changed it up several times. But I kind of have it like this safe is where all the bolt guns are, most part. This safe is where all the lever guns are in terms of long guns. And then this safe is ARs and AKs. So, and I've got one that's just kind of random overflow. I don't really have one for shotguns exclusively, and that kind of thing. And you triage things too. As you know, if you have a lot of firearms, maybe you have one gun safe and you got more firearms than will fit in there, whatever. Well, the guns that don't go in the safe are your junk guns, your less expensive guns, right? You're constantly triaging. Okay, I bought that gun. That thing's pretty expensive. Something's going to come out of the safe. That thing's got to go in the safe. You end up playing that game, don't you? So anyway, I try to organize it with something that makes sense by safe. Like right now, if I want to get my 1886 Winchester out, I know which safe to go to. It's more for my own sanity. I've had them just kind of mixed up at times too. If I want the bolt, I want to go put my hands on the G98. I know what safe it's in because that's where the bolt guns are, right? But again, there's some that just don't fit, and it's crazy. It really is. And I even have had spreadsheets with lists where I keep them and all that. Then I changed up, and all that was out the window. Handguns, I do have one place where all the Glocks are in one of the safes, and that has helped a lot with that. And I kind of keep revolvers in one area, Colt single actions in one area. You have to just to keep your sanity, right? So lots of ways with guns. In some ways, guns are not as much an issue. You sort of figure that out. It's all the accessories, isn't it? Like the ammo. If you got ammo, keeping it, of course, somehow organized by caliber, chambering, right? That makes sense. I do that. I'm sure you do too. And I keep reload hand loads, separate. They're usually, unlike I used to do, and probably most people still do, I load so much and shoot so much. My hand loads, I don't change loads. It's all the same load, and I write it down on the container, but I keep them in kind of bulk, just in bulk. My ammo can full of 10 millimeter or 44 Magnum or whatever. I don't have 3 or 4 different loads of 44 Magnum or of 44 Special. It's just one load. If I see a hand load, and I've gradually gotten to that point over the years, if I want something different, some specialty load, I'll just buy that, something different. I have one load for 45 Colt. I used to have black powder loads, made it even more complicated to keep all that separate, but I have one load. If it's a 45 Colt hand load, I can tell by looking at it. Of course, it's a cast bullet. I know what powder's in it. I know what it is. I still have it labeled, but if I have a couple of ammo, that's what it is. 44 mag, same way. 44 Special, 357 Magnum, 30. I don't have any 38s hand loaded. I'm missing some 45 ACP. You don't load as much of that anymore, but I mean I know what the load is, but I keep that separate from factory ammo. Okay. And so that's changed. Get some shells and make it separate it and organize it. That makes sense. That's how I do that. Some other things like the magazines, that can be an issue. A lot of them look alike. You can have, if you're a Glock person or a Smith & Wesson, you got lots of magazine, different chamberings, calibers even. They look alike. So you do need to somehow organize those. And I'll tell you, I've got this highly sophisticated system for that. Well, I try to keep one in the gun. If it's something I shoot a lot, I might have another one handy there on top of the safe or something. But I keep I keep them in this really sophisticated pouch called a Ziploc bag, you know, and it's right on the bag, 10 millimeter. Like this very day, I dug out looking for my bag of 10 millimeter magazines, you know, Glock mags, and because I'm getting my hands on the 10 millimeter LC carbine Ruger, so I wanted to find those magazines and try that gun out. So I just Ziploc bags, and I got in a filing cabinet really right now, just drawers full of mags and Ziploc bags. And again, the ones I use the most, or I'm going after the most, they're right there, kind of handy, that kind of thing. So but it's a challenge keeping all that organized, and I had to make it worse because when I got into cowboy action shooting, I started loading Frontier cartridge, black powder, into 45 Colt, 45-70, and 12 gauge shotgun shells. So I had to make sure I had all that labeled in different places because you can't tell by looking at it. And then I even had different loads. I had hot loads for my rifle and 45 Colt, and then moderate loads in handgun 45 Colt. I got away from that. I mean, they were all plenty strong, but so there's no end to the organization that you need to have. And then what else do you have? Of course, if you're hand loading, you got primers and you got all that to organize, and powders, empty brass, organizing the empty brass. You know, there's a million things that you have to catalog, you know, keep track of. Then not even counting your shop tools and different things you work on guns with, and paper towels and patches of different calibers and for cleaning, and just, yeah, it's I sound like I'm put out, I'm complaining. I never do that. I don't do that. But it is a lot to keep organized. It's hard to keep it organized. That's the challenge I have, because again, we're running back and forth and doing video. Yeah, I grab that, I'll get that gun out, do this and that, and got stuff out here and there. And then going to do more videos the next day maybe. And so it's real easy to get behind on all that with this endeavor. But that's kind of how I do it, by safe, and organize the magazines by of course what gun they go to. You know, like on the Ziploc bag, I write not the I don't write 10 millimeter. Well, I do, but I'll write Glock 20 10 millimeter. You know, or you know, FN 545. You know, 45 ACP. You know, I write, you know, that kind of thing, because I have other 45 ACP magazines. So it's sort of by gun and chambering, of course. So I just glance at that and you know, grab what it is. And sometimes I got to dig around to find it. You know, it's the way it is. Again, my fantasy, if I had to do over, if I could go back 10 years, I would definitely start that, whatever you call it, garage building, whatever, highly secured, and you know, have a wide open, lots of room to have shelves and organize everything. But I'm kind of cheap, you know. I just am. I've gotten kind of cheaper, even though I make really good money. I don't know what it is about me. I'm just really kind of cheap on some things, you know. On a major project like that, if I don't really need to do it, you know, because I'm going to pay cash for anything I buy or build, you know, and I don't know, I have a hard time letting go of the cash to do something like that, you know. What I have in mind would be, I don't know, it'd be at least 100K, maybe more, you know, probably, time I get onto it, get the plans drawn up, might be twice that much, you know, and I just put it off, and I don't know, maybe at this point I don't need to do that, I don't know. But anyway, it's tough to stay organized, and you know, put some thought into it if you're having trouble keeping all that stuff organized, because you definitely want to make sure you got the right ammo for the right gun, right? You don't want to end up with your disorganization causing a problem or an issue in that regard. You know, end up putting the wrong ammo in a gun, the wrong magazine, or doing something like that that might damage the magazine or damage the firearm, or, you know, whatever could happen there. So you want to be careful with all that, obviously. But if you got any tips like how you organize your magazines or your ammo or your guns or anything like that. Share it. It might help anybody, but it might help me. I don't know. It's something I have dealt with for a long time, and I just barely stay ahead of it. Yeah. It's a good problem to have. Yeah, isn't it? I mean, think about it. What we're talking about here is having so many toys that it's a challenge to keep them organized. So again, I'm not complaining. I've said before, I come close to getting mad, uh, losing my temper a little bit if I'm not careful. If I'm in a hurry and trying to find this or that, digging around to say, where is that rifle, whatever, and two of them fall out on my head or try to fall out or whatever. It's real easy to get frustrated, but then again, I catch myself. Wait a minute. You're about to get mad, frustrated, because you have so many guns, you can't find one of them. Yeah, that's a good problem to have, isn't it? Yeah. That's like having, like the other problem I have, I've had most of my life till I got married. So many supermodels, numbers, and names in my little black book that I would confuse them and get mad at myself for confusing them. Because I'd have at least 15 or 20 supermodels, their names and addresses and phone numbers, that I would confuse them at times. And I would start to get frustrated the same way. And now I'd have to remind myself, now wait a minute. Just be glad that you know that many supermodels and you can call any one of them up for a date anytime you want to. So we need to be thankful for having these problems, don't we? So anyway, share what you try, what you do to stay organized, and I'll talk to you later in another Talks, of all places. Life is good.